Hi, welcome back to our series on Wellness Drops, exploring mental health and the 8 dimensions of wellness. Welcome to discuss the first pillar in environmental wellness, which is commitment. Commitment to what? Only if we know the what that we can think of committing to action. The first aspect, which is most important and very critical, awareness of the environment. Dear friends, we all know and we keep talking about environmental issues, environmental problems, pollution, and this is happening and that's happening and this is not happening, and then we are all being affected negatively by the problems which are happening in the environment. At times, we tend to just take it for granted. It is happening. What can we do? Everyone is facing the same problem. Let us also run the race. But is that the attitude that we need to have? So the second aspect in this pillar, which is volunteering time for projects. Third aspect of our commitment, which is very strongly about doing my part. In commitment, we also make a commitment to do certain things and not to do certain things to clean the environment. When we talk about doing certain things to clean the environment, it leads to talking about conservation, which is also one of the pillars under environmental wellness. And when we choose not to do something to help keep the environment clean or sustain and maintain the environment, we talk about abstinence, which is another pillar under environmental wellness. And on this note, please take care of this commitment, which is so crucial for our existence. And think about all that I shared with you just now. Now that we just spoke about commitment, my friends, we are going to talk about conservation and what all it entails. This pillar, conservation, has 4 aspects. The first one is energy. Second one is recycle, reuse. Third one is fuel energy. And fourth is waste reduction. All these are very critical points which are very relevant to us in our daily lives. Let's start with the first aspect under conservation, energy. We come to the next aspect under this pillar, which is recycle and reuse. It is very alarming to see the extent of material misuse, abuse and waste which is happening in our environment, and we see it in daily lives. The next aspect, which is fuel energy. The last aspect under conservation is waste reduction. How much of these resources are we willing to conserve? How much are we wasting on a daily basis? Are we maintaining a balance? Let us keep a scorecard for this on a daily basis. Trust me, the moment we start assessing ourselves informally in our daily lives, and probably you'll see a tremendous difference about the wastage which you can control. We cannot justify wastage in any form, in any way. There is no justification at all. So just think about all this. And my friends, I'll repeat the 4 aspects once again. Energy, recycle and reuse, conservation of fuel energy, and waste reduction. See where you stand in terms of your conservation quotient. So the last pillar in environmental wellness. Remember, we talked about there are certain things that we need to do to keep our environment clean, which we discussed under conservation, and there are certain things which we don't need to do to keep our environment clean, and that will come under abstinence. Abstinence primarily revolves around reducing, avoiding or controlling our actions in different ways, which will help maintain and sustain a clean environment, which is very important for existence of any kind of life. Let us come to the first aspect. Reduce plastic use. So we should ensure that if we are able to make a positive impact, we should abstain from certain actions or activities which is going to hinder. That is why we always say it's important to be aware of the situation. Only then we can do something about it. And we discussed about this awareness in the first pillar under commitment. And that is why we shared about the problems existing in our environment. So now do you see how everything is so correlated? Nothing is in isolation. we come to the next aspect under this pillar, which is emissions. Emissions of any kind. It could be vehicular emissions, it could be industrial smoke, at times maybe even when we are smoking as well, maybe inside the house, even that could cause a lot of pollution. We come to the last aspect in this pillar, which is do not litter. Think about these areas where we need to abstain from very strongly so that we are able to keep our environment clean. We'll be back with more. Do subscribe to our series on Wellness Drops.